Hello YouTube. It's the hottest day of the summer in London, as far as I know anyway. Maybe it'll get hotter, hopefully not, but I think it's a perfect day to show up on camera, all sweaty, and to crack open a cold one. I've cracked this one a while ago because this is like the fifth take, and check out the Commodore 64. So how about it? I mean, you clicked on this video, what were you expecting? Let's go. This is a West German-made Commodore 64C. As you may notice, it's not the original bread bin model style design that most people are familiar with and that there are now NES Mini style versions of, but actually I kind of prefer this look. They updated it to make it look more like Commodore's new line at the time, the Amiga. I got this off of eBay for about 50 quid. It's an iconic computer of the 8-bit era. Its software library, full of many different games people have fond memories of, software for productivity and many other things. To me, it's kind of all new. I played C64 titles like Turrican and Impossible Mission before via emulation, but I'm too young to really have had an experience with it in its era. In fact, the Commodore 64 line of products was discontinued in 1998. That's the year I was born. A long lifespan considering the original Commodore 64 debuted in 1982. I got this unit and the power supply. The unit itself seemed in good condition, though it needed a bit of a clean. Being the noob that I am, I immediately wanted to just plug it in and see what would happen. Buy some cheap adapter from whatever video outputs were on it and play away. Unfortunately, it hasn't been that simple. First things first, before plugging it in, I decided to take a peek inside the computer, undoing the 4 screws on the back of the casing. I just lifted off the metal sheet and looked inside. It seemed all fine to me for the most part. A metal sheet was covering a lot of the electronics. I wasn't really brave enough to fully disassemble the computer yet, so I kind of just left it as it was. Next, I decided to take a look at the PSU. There were no screws on it, but I could feel a bit of a flex to the power brick, so I popped it open with a screwdriver, and yeah, this is what I saw. God, that's horrible. What were they thinking, as one could say? Upon some Googling, I found out a lot. Turns out, a lot of the old Commodore 64 and Commodore 64C and all of them power supplies were covered in epoxy as it's thermally conductive and helps the components stay in place. I'm not totally sure, but I'm also not an engineer, so I'll say that probably at the time it was a good idea or something. But after like 38 years, God knows what's happening inside of there. And with all this stuff, I can't even give it like a proper visual inspection. I also found out that these power supplies are pretty complicated. For one, they output both AC and DC voltage, quite unlike your normal standard electronics. And if the DC voltage exceeds 6 volts, it can fry the computer inside without a protection circuit. I've never dealt with stuff this old before, but thanks to the wonderful forum Lemon64 for the information and all my sources of research, I've also found that the power supplies go bad eventually and have been nicknamed the Commodore Brick of Death. So yeah, long story short, I decided not to plug the old PSU in and risk it. From my research, I've identified several key issues that needed to be resolved before I could sit down and play some good old Castle Wolfenstein or whatever. So here are the key things. I needed to figure out a way to power the thing. I needed somehow to get the video and audio out from the computer. I needed some way to load software onto the computer, lest I resort to the good old time-tested practice of typing up programs into it. And I needed some way to fix the F1, F3 key, which seems to have been broken upon further inspection of the unit. I'm not sure if I just didn't catch it the first time, or if this is something that was already there. Nevertheless, the keys are honestly so mushy that I couldn't tell very well. They're fine, but it's not quite the IBM Model M, if you know what I mean. So, what are my solutions? Well, for issue number 1, the solution was to either get a protection circuit or get an aftermarket power supply. Here in Europe, getting the protection circuit shipped from the US or most other places in the world where protection circuits seem to prefer to reside in their natural habitat was pretty expensive, and I kind of lacked the technical skill to make my own power supply. So I decided to just get an aftermarket power supply. Next, I needed to get audio and video out of the computer. After all, I don't think Castle Wolfenstein or any other C64 game would be great without all of its SID sound and wonderful graphics. So how did I solve that? Well, let me explain. The Commodore 64 uses a 5-pin or an 8-pin DIN connector that would normally work fine with the Commodore monitor, but I neither have the money nor the space in my small studio flat for such a beast. So I wanted to use a pre-existing monitor for either VGA or DVI-D or my other monitor for HDMI. Fortunately, my machine came with an 8-pin DIN connector, so I could buy an adapter cable to SCART, run it through a converter box, and get some kind of modern output. Now, these converter boxes ranged from something absurdly expensive like the OSCC, the open source scan converter, and the FrameMeister, to some very cheap ones used for older TV set-top boxes that just scream input lag when you just look at them. Although Matt KC has a video where he showcases one that kind of looks like them, and it seems to play just fine and has a neat picture-in-picture mode. But nevertheless, I kind of didn't want to take chances, and on my limited budget, I could only afford something like that. And I had a lot of concerns about build quality and, just other issues. I've had my fair share of experiences with poorly built gadgets of questionable origin. Plus, I'd rather avoid hooking it up to the main monitor. I already have a 4-way HDMI switch as it is, and, well, if I can't get the output I want, maybe I should get the inputs I want, huh? Creative, right? You see where I'm going with this? I got a new monitor. And so I settled on getting the Dell 2001 FP or Dell 2001 FP, whatever you want to call it. It's a big piece of machinery. A monitor with both composite and S-video inputs and an adapter cable from the Commodore 8-pin DIN to a combo cable with both composite via RCA and S-video. For the audio part of the RCA cable, I found a splitter, or rather a combiner in my use case. Not sure if it even works the other way, but whatever. So it has RCA inputs on one side and a headphone jack on the other. I could have used my cheap mechanical audio switch for this, but it was already occupied handling inputs from my record player and line out for my DAC. And this way I got a flexible 3.5mm headphone jack I could use with a portable speaker or a pair of IEMs if I truly wanted to appreciate the famous SID chip produced music. Next issue to solve was getting software for the device. I got a couple different options here as well. Commodore 64 games came on cartridges, which plugged into the cartridge port on the back, or via cassette, which had to be inserted into a separate peripheral, also known as the dataset. Dataset? Let me know which one is the right one in the comments. Which plugs into the port of the same name in the Commodore computer. The thing we're talking about. Or via 5¼ floppy disks that would go into another peripheral known as the Commodore disk drive. All of these options, while very tempting for their nostalgic value, are quite expensive, especially the disk drive, being that it's basically a whole other computer inside there, from what I understand. 8-Bit Guy has a great video that I watched many eons ago that explains it, but I don't remember, so I'm not gonna go spouting ignorant stuff. Nevertheless, I could definitely see myself getting a disk drive in the future, because it's a large project on its own, and maybe I'll save up or have some of that cash money for that. Yeah, newest, hottest things to drop cash money on, the Commodore disk drive. Don't be a trend follower, be a trendsetter. Nevertheless, I decided on a more hacky modern solution. I picked myself up an SD2 IAC. This device emulates a Commodore disk drive and uses an SD card as storage, which is really convenient as you can load up a lot of Commodore 64 software disk images on it and through a program stored on the SD card called File Browser 64, whatever. You can pick through them even for games that required several disks, which is just great. Now, it's not cycle exact compatible, and if you're going to be picking up some cracked ROMs off the internet and not making your own quote-unquote backups, then, well, you might just be a little out of luck, because a lot of those hacked ROMs, or, well, rather, cracked ROMs, came with their own fast loaders that kind of relied on the behaviors of the original disk drive. So unfortunately, you're going to have some trouble loading some of those, but nonetheless, it's better than nothing, certainly. And hey, if I did decide to retype some programs off the internet, at least I could save them now. So all is good. So now that we're done with the obviously scripted part, in which I went off script many times over, how about we actually check out the computer and see what it does. So let me show you how it all plugs in and we'll get started. So first things first, I suppose we should get the monitor working. Let me just move this a little closer to the camera so that you guys can see and so that I can see. And we can see here, this should plug in there, I believe. Oh, it gave me a little electric shock almost. Sure hope I am plugging it in the right way around. It's just 4 equally sized pins. Hardly indicative of how exactly I'm supposed to plug it in. Well, I suppose I'll just have to pray that if I do plug it in the wrong way around, it's not gonna burst up in flames. It's really plugging the other way. Whoa! What the fuck? I hate that. What the shit was that? Whew. Oh, I fucking hate this. Whew, I really fucking hate that. Hope that didn't short everything out. Seemed more like just a little spark, but it's not even actually plugged into the mains either. That's something. Yeah, I think I'll just go with the way that I think it's plugged in. And hopefully nothing else here will be quite as scary as that was. Phew. For the record, the monitor does work after that. I actually scared myself a little because it wouldn't turn on when I pressed the button, but turns out I just forgot to turn on the mains plug. But hey, so that was crisis averted, or this video would have never came out. We have this thick boy out here. I thought it might be worth also plugging in all the video inputs that are right on here on this side. So just a reminder, we're using here Commodore 8-pin DIN to S-Video and composite for audio only. The reason I'm not using S-Video, the reason I'm not using composite, for output is that it is worse in terms of video quality. Not sure how to plug this in exactly. Alright, so I got it in there in the end. And as for the rest of that cable, we'll leave that unplugged for now, but there's red and white composite audio cables. And I'm gonna plug them into the combiner or splitter. Let me know. I don't think it would really matter which channel it is, since the output from the Commodore 64 will be mono anyway. And here's another little doohickey. This is a 3.5mm splitter. That's how I'll be recording the sounds from the Commodore 64 in part 2 of this video. Just having an output here straight to an input on Audacity and such. So there we go. Quite the contraption, huh? And I don't think it'll have any electrical problems or anything. Famous last words, eh? Alright, I think that's pretty much it for the monitor, so let's just get on to the Commodore 64 itself. Alright. That was a bit of a weird sound. But, so we're gonna hook up the power supply in our SD2 IEC drive right over here. I'll start with the SD2 IEC drive. I'm using a micro SD card on this. You don't have to, obviously. In fact, if you use a micro SD card, you have to use a SD card adapter. But I just had this one lying around from an old dead Raspberry Pi. Obviously, you'll need to format it, and I think I'll go into some more intricate parts of the setup, especially with SD2 IEC, in the second part of the video. But for now, this is kind of what we need. Second, there's these two plugs right here. As you can see, they're not totally aligned, and this is actually absolutely on purpose because the pins on the SD2 IEC board aren't totally aligned either. So you can plug them in one by one, and that is probably a better idea, but it's do as I say, not as I do. Anyway, we got them in place now, and as you can see, it's all kind of put together now. And to plug it into the Commodore 64, what you'll want to do is you'll want to plug both of these in, of course, but it doesn't matter which one you start with. So, for the ports, you want to plug this one into the serial. See, there's this video connector. Don't plug it into that one. And am I plugging this in the right way? No, of course not. I never plug things in the right way first time. And that's what they call it, right? USB superposition. You plug it in one way, it doesn't work. You plug it in the second time, it doesn't work. Flip it around third time, works like a charm. Oh, and before I forget, we also need to plug the second one in, which is the data set. Now, this sticker it comes with, it says keyboard facing, which is quite helpful because you don't want to plug it in the wrong way around, as well, that would be electrically unpleasant. And we've had enough of that today. Alright, so now that that part's done, we can plug the power supply in. And the power supply plugs in on this right side here. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, unfortunately, because of the lighting. Not much I can do about that, but let me just show you exactly how it plugs in. So here's the thing, and I believe it plugs in this way. Always make sure to turn off your power supply. I mean, that didn't seem to help me very much with the monitor, but yeah, in case you do plug it in wrong, at least there's no voltage. And on this nice secondhand power supply, I actually got a power switch right here. So that's very helpful. So, that's something, wasn't it? How about we turn it on and see whether it works. Not very well because I didn't plug in the video cable. So the video cable is this one to the right? Yes, that is right. If it's not the right, then it's your other right. That's what I say. And just lower it down and everything should be fine. Oh, and one more thing. Do you remember how I mentioned something about a broken F1, F2 key? That I might or might not have said is an F1, F3 key, which it isn't for the record. Yeah, I came up with a real high-tech solution for that one. Should be back shortly. So, growing up around computers and not always being able to get or afford a new keyboard when the last one broke sure taught me a valuable lesson, and that is of the power of the hairpin. Lift up the key, put the hairpin in there, and you got an almost working key. You want to press it, take the hairpin out. Simple, right? Let's get on to it. Oh, hopefully no magic smoke, no sparks this time. Got the power supply right here, the monitor's already on. Let's turn on the power supply, and let's turn on that Commodore 64. And the power switch on the other side. That's great. I mean, I know. This was intentional. What did you think? No. Hey, there we go. I'm almost kind of surprised that I didn't mess anything up. Although, considering you saw the intro of this video, you kind of already knew that things were going to be alright, so less suspense for you, but hey, this is something. And yeah, and everything seems to work. The keyboard works. You can type through the camera very well, but sure does work. So I think I'll do a little bit of cable management, and I'll get back to you for the outro of this one, and then later part 2. But at the end of the day, this is what we're here for. We're here for the game. So why don't we check out some games? Let's start with, oh my god, these keys are mushy. Alright, so, as I said, I'm using SD2IEC, so we're gonna enter the file browser first to mount an image of the game. And as you're gonna be able to see, I got quite a few games already on here. Many of which I'll have to show in another video because this one's plenty long. But how about a little bit of Oregon Trail, hey? Let's die of pneumonia or whatever. Alright, it's finally loaded. So, do we need instructions? No, absolutely none. Oh, thank you, game. That's very kind of you. How good are we? Awful. Oh, I didn't realize. $300. 400, okay. How much do you want to spend on food? I don't know, like 200, I guess. Maybe like 50. And, 50, nah, let's say 30. And, let's say 20. So we just have $100 left. Let's continue. We don't need to hunt. How do you want to eat? Moderately. Raiders ahead. They look hostile. Oh my god. Alright. Let's attack. Press return to start shooting. I wonder how shooting works. Oh, what? Oh my god. I didn't even realize the QuickTime event started already, and usually it says bang, not wham. That's a new one. Oh, that's one of the weirdest mechanic. Typing QuickTime event. It's almost like I'm playing Typing of the Dead. Alright. Wild animals are attacking. Oh no. What is it gonna be? Please be bang. I have my key. I have my fingers on those keys. Wham. No, not again. Oh, well, at least I didn't get much, huh? Food 175. Well, everything looks good. How about, we continue moderately. Raiders ahead. They look hostile. Alright. Please be bang. Oh, blam! Oh, for fuck's sake. Kinda slow. The raiders were hostile. Check for losses. You used your medicine. What, all of it? Oh my god. Wait, there isn't even medicine on here. Miscellaneous supplies, clothing, bullets. Let's hunt. Oh, blam. Blam. Yay. Well. Unsafe water. Lose time looking for a clean spring. Okay. Stop at the next fort. Food. Like, I don't know, 30? Ammunition. We seem to be encountering a lot of hostile forces. Clothing. 0. And miscellaneous supplies. 50. Hey, it didn't ask me for medicine. God damn it. Alright, moderately. Oh shit. Oh, I didn't mean to even press it. Wild animals are attacking. What's going on? This game is like way too hardcore for, you know, the text-based game. I mean, I guess. Oh, cash 0. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Maybe we can hunt and sell things. Oh, wham. Yay. Well. Ox wanders off. Oh. Blizzard and mountain times. Lose time and supplies. Oh, god damn it. I have so many bullets, though. Holy shit. I should not have bought that many bullets. 0. 0. 0. No. Oh my god. No medicine. Alright, well. Fine. Let's attack him. What is it gonna be? Wham again? Shot. Yay. I'm glad they were hostile. See? I take my peacemaking ability very seriously. Shoot him. Hailstorm. Supplies damages. Oh no. Press return to continue. Let's continue. Let's eat moderately. Unsafe water. Oh god damn it. Alright. Continue. Well. Wagon breaks down. Lost time and supplies fixing it. Okay, well we're running out of miscellaneous supplies, so let's continue for now and let's eat well. Bad luck. Your daughter broke her arm. You had to stop and use supplies to make a sling. Oh no, we're really running out of supplies. Let's stop at the next fort and spend like... Do we still have 0 cash? Like 50. You do not have that much money. Oh, god damn it. Alright, let's eat well. Screw my daughter, I guess. I didn't even know I had one. Let's hunt. Wham. Well. Unsafe water. Well, we've got 41 miles to go. Holy shit. We still have no cash, so let's continue and let's eat well. Let's not catch, Yay! Holy shit. President Polk sends you his heartiest congratulations. Don't think I've ever heard the word heartiest before. And wishes you a prosperous life ahead in your new home. That's great. Why is the miscellaneous supply some kind of float number instead of like a pure integer? 4.01401,431, and then it like overlaps. It even got the border sprite with it. Hey, the border sprite must be a part of the text because this is all text mode, right? So I'm guessing these are just like the that symbol on the Commodore 64 keyboard that's just a line down. Hey, that's something, right? And by moving this along through some glitch, I guess, that didn't round it, this ended up here as well. That's interesting. I always like to think about things like that in older games, but nevertheless, Wednesday, September 1st, 1847, we finally arrived. And any more pioneers waiting to make the journey? Let's say not today, huh? Goodbye until the next wagon train. Oh look. It boots me back to the prompt, but it doesn't remove the colors. That's quite interesting. We can even type in red rum. Ugh. Oh, here's a fun one. Print 10. What did I do? I think I hit the clear key. Why is the clear key next to the delete key? Whoever thought that this was like the best idea ever? Maybe they were like, well, clearing and deleting is kind of similar, so we'll just put it where it is so that people will lose all their stuff very easily by just trying to hit delete without looking. The keyboard layout on this is something. I mean, well... Run. I always forget that. There we go. Mighty horrifying in it. Alright, how about we close this one out for now? Hey, so welcome to the outro of this video. Thanks for watching if you still are. And this video's gotten pretty long, so unfortunately the rest of the games I decided to cut out and put into part 2. Sorry if this gives you a bit of a blue balls type feeling, because I know that games are something that most people really remember about the Commodore 64, and don't worry, we'll get to them. In fact, the games showcase ended up being so long that it just didn't make sense to add a whole other 10 to 15 minutes to this video. So I decided to split it into another video. And if you like this one, why don't you check out part 2? And I hope you enjoyed it. And again, thanks for watching. It really means a lot to me. So see you then. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff if you want. And yeah, bye. Have a great day.